My students, when I was teaching, often asked me, Mr. Steed, it seems like you have done every job known to man. And I really haven't. I think it's been a blessing and a curse because I've continued to search for that purpose, search for what it is that I'm supposed to be out here doing. I know there's a lot of things that I'm good at and a lot of things that I enjoy doing, but is that what I'm supposed to be doing? Sometimes it's hard to figure out who you're supposed to be or what you're supposed to be doing until you figure out who is your true self. Hello, Governor. This is Rekkai Steed, nupefromdaville. Season finale of the Acolyte. Episode 8. First season, maybe the only season. Listen, when I tell you, I can't say that they Simone Biles, that they stuck the landing, but I mean, it's a hard hit the ground and then a little stumble. Solid. The sad thing is the amount of vitriol and hate that's been out there for the Acolyte before it even came on the air. And I hate that. I watched 8 episodes. I saw the whole story play out. I will still stand by my initial findings that episode 1 and 2 were trash. I was not pulled in. I was not sold on the story. I did not care about the characters. Episode 3, which is where most other people completely checked out because it was too woke, is where it started to pick up for me. And you started to get some backstory. You started to learn characters' motivations. So we have Saul, who, for all intents and purposes, may be the true villain of this story. Now, why do I say that? Because everything that he did, he was out of pocket, almost from jump. Once we saw, was it episode 7, when they went back to Brendock and kind of showed you a different perspective, like following Saul this time? He was out of pocket the whole time. And his motivations and the reasons that he made choices, and even the choices he made to compound on top of the past choices, out of complete damn pocket. Master Indara should have reined that in because he was out of pocket. And it actually, almost to a creepy level. I mean, I'm not saying he's R. Kelly, but creepy, dude. He's following the twins. He says he wants to save them. He says he wants this or that. So at the beginning of episode 8, he's told May everything, including fessing up to killing their mother. I mean, May saw it with her eyes. She saw it, so it's not like he has to fess up to it, but maybe she wants to hear the reasoning. Why, my guy? He don't really have a reason. All he says is that what he did, he thought he was doing right for those girls. He thought he was saving them. And May had a very good point. From what? What are you saving us from? You saving us from our family? The people that have loved us and cared for us? Or did you have some ulterior motives? And I think that is one of the biggest things about this, that he's out here, you messing with stuff that you don't understand. Because at no part, nothing that they did can you say was evil. Did they do some stuff that was kind of messed up? And, when Anastasia took control of Torben's mind, that wasn't cool. However, are y'all the same 4 people who broke into and trespassing in our house? It's not like they showed up to the front door and the Covenant witches, Anastasia and Coral, came to the front door and then they stepped outside and there was a confrontation. No, they let themselves into the fortress, walked all up in the living room and we got a right to, listen, you got a right to get this force sauce on you. Yeah. Anyway, so May and Osha and Khmer are on their way to Brendok to intercept May and Sol. One of the things that was super powerful in this episode was at the end of episode 7, Osha put on the helmet, which acts kind of like a self-deprivation unit. And Khmer said, you take nothing in there with you but the Force. There's only 2 little slits. It serves no other function. Listen, when she put that helmet on and got the breathing all Darth Vader-y like, her power in the Force was so strong. Khmer felt it immediately. Like, you know, he went into the little thing like Torben, where Anastasia had entered his mind. And all he was just trying to do was reach in to get the helmet off, and he couldn't get it off. Like, it took him a while to get there. Yeah, he was in a state. Osha's power was off the chain, which was interesting because this entire series, we saw how much power May had, not Osha had. Osha always kind of cowered and got behind May. Maybe she was afraid of her own power. Maybe she didn't know her own power, and putting on that helmet killed her doubt in herself. Osha and Khmer get to the door. Osha said, this is the only way in. Khmer says, are you sure? And he disappears. He catches up to Sol, and they have a great lightsaber battle. It's very fitting. The one thing I find interesting, Khmer's double blades, where he pulls out the little, lightsaber tanto from his lightsaber. It's very cool. But I always wonder, like, how does that work? Or does he have 2 crystals? Because how is that powered if there's only 1 crystal? Anyway, it's a question for another time. Also there, Khmer is fighting Sol, and Osha and May catch up to each other, and they're battling it out because you can see Osha's rage. May tells her, Sol is the one who killed our mother. I saw him with my own eyes. He been lying to you all this time. Osha goes off on her and, you lying. I know you're the one. Sol told me you were the one who did this, and how twisted your mind must have been to kill your entire family. And that's something. The one Easter egg WTF moment is what appears to be in the cave or somewhere behind Khmer is a shadowy hooded figure. My first thought is that Darth Tenebrous? But then it really looks like, and the internet is saying that was Darth Plagueis. What? I don't mind the placement, but it's weird. It's a weird placement because, for one, what is he doing there? Khmer wouldn't have had time to tell him that if Plagueis is actually Khmer's master, if Khmer is a apprentice to Plagueis, which is before Sidious, of course, and he's taking on Osha as his acolyte, why was he there? Khmer didn't even know they were going there because Osha didn't tell him. I don't know. It was weird. With zero explanation. Are we to believe that Plagueis is Khmer's master? Maybe. Okay, sure. Whatever. After all that, Sol ends up besting Khmer. May comes out to help, but really she just wants to get the one up on Sol. She talks to Sol, and while she's talking to him, she gets him to admit that he killed her mother. Sol does not know that Osha's behind him listening. Osha hears the entire thing. She asks him, is that true? He says, yes, it is true, but then he starts mansplaining. He starts just talking and I did it this, and that would have took you away, and blah, blah, blah. I've been lying to your face, blah, blah, blah. I'm a liar, blah, blah, blah. Until Osha, finally, he said he did everything he did because he can't get it out. And that's because all of a sudden we see just down close to our thigh, Osha's got on the the nicest little force choke. And she tells him, shut up. And she's choking him. And she's like, you lied to my face. You're a bold-faced liar. All this time, all the trauma, all the pain that I've had was because of you, because you killed my mother and told me my twin sister killed my entire family. Osha does the unthinkable. I definitely thought of it. She finishes the force choke and chokes the life out of Saul. Yes, let your anger flow through you. I loved it. In episode 1 or 2, I said something to the fact of, why are we following Osha? If this show is about the Acolyte, shouldn't we be following May? Why are we following Osha? And then somewhere around the middle, I was like, maybe we're following Osha because maybe she's the Acolyte. Maybe she's going to flip. I didn't really see May flipping, but it makes sense. And it's often like that. The one that you think is the bad one is not the one that's really bad. She just takes the rap. It's the one who's been good and always been thought about as good was the bad one. Even though, if we're being honest, is Osha bad? Is it not vengeance? Did she not get justice for a needless murder of her mother? I mean, I don't know many people who would, just let that go. And especially the person who murdered your parent took you under the wing and has been watching you under the false pretense of, I love you. I just want the best for you. I'm going to take care of you. The thing about this series, this episode, is about emergence. It is about finding your true self. I think it was very interesting that when we got to the end and May asked Osha, what did she want to do? She asked her, it's your choice. What do you want to do? That was the exact same thing that her mother asked her. And May has come full circle. Now, I understand in a society that allegedly finds itself, being the bringers of justice worldwide almost, should May get away with her crimes? She has committed some heinous crimes. But did she? She killed Master Indara. Now, in killing Master Indara, because that was the only person May killed, she was complicit in the murder of her mother, the murder of their coven, and the cover-up. I didn't think that what Master Indara did to break the hold that the witches had on Kelnaka, and then they all passed out, I didn't think they immediately died, but I guess they did. Or maybe they passed out and then they were killed by the ensuing fire and explosion. I don't know. It was all very weird though. But Indara was just as complicit. She knew what Saul had done and she swept it under. And I understand her reasoning for it. And they would have done terrible things to Osha. She was too old to train. It's a very terrible position. And Master Vanestra says something in the end that the Jedi have failed you. Absolutely. Because you have people who take the power that they've been given for granted. We have these people now that we've elected to office who take that for granted, and all they're doing, they are passing laws and writing bills right now that only benefit them. And the rich people are putting money in their pockets. And unfortunately, we have a wholly uneducated society who cannot see that and will vote against their own best interests at every turn. People might say, I'm anti-Trump. No, I'm anti-idiot. We have two idiots running for office. One, an old pedophile criminal, and it's not like that's a stretch. These things are facts. They're known. And then we have another old idiot who has no idea what day today is. Jeez. Anyway, the greatest thing in this world is to know how to belong to yourself. Michael de Montaigne, a French philosopher and writer, wrote that quote. And the thing is, you have to know your own mind. Lao Tzu once said that knowing others is intelligence, but knowing yourself is wisdom. May had a hard time. Her trauma, her grief on losing her mother, losing her family, hit her hard, and she immediately struck out. OSHA's was a slow burn. And the fact that we thought that OSHA was the good one until we found out she wasn't is one of the biggest problems in our society now. We elect thugs and people to office who don't have anyone's best interest at heart. We put people in positions of power, whether they be loan officers at banks, police, fire people in your local school, teachers who don't like other people for very simple reasons. Color of the skin, socioeconomic reason, ethnic background, you're an immigrant, you're gay, whatever it is. This is not about the woke agenda. This is about the human agenda. You know, I did not choose to be male. I did not choose to be black. You know, I chose to be a straight male. Some people say that's not a choice. I think it is. That is my choice. You know, I'm unfortunately choosing to have a big back at the moment. I'm fluffy as hell. I could probably be in better shape. But a lot of things about a lot of people, they didn't choose. And the fact that other people get on their high horse and talk about their superiority over other people is just absolutely ridiculous. Because you didn't choose none of that shit yourself either. Who are you? I did a deep dive a little while ago on a movie called The Hitman. And I was talking about, you know, who are you really? And this is something about that. And these themes have kept popping up during the Acolyte. Duality. You know, making terrible choices, life choices. But at the end of the day, who are you? It would be nice if all of us could go into a chrysalis stage like a caterpillar and emerge a beautiful butterfly. But a lot of us, if we do make it into that cocoon stage, you come out basically an old tired booger. You're not a damn butterfly. You're worse off than what you are before, because all you did was hibernate for a season. You didn't grow. You didn't evolve. You are now resigned to making better choices. You're just going to be sneaky about the choices you make. Robert Brault said, in the end, you don't so much find yourself as you find someone who knows who you are. Honestly, ask yourself, do you know who you are? I'm not talking about your favorite likes, your favorite color. Do you know who you are? Make sure that you check out over on the Geekish Network, the binge-worthy episode on the Acolyte, where a group of us got together and talked about the entire season. If you've not watched all of my deep dives, or if you've not watched the reaction that this is based on between myself and Syntell, check the links in the description. This is Rekkai Steed, nupefromdaville. Like, comment, share, and by all means, subscribe. Use this. But you gotta use this right here.